In the very first part of this series, we went through the fundamentals required to make hero charges into Lalo work for you, and all that I kept explaining in that part of the series, in case you missed it, was just that you have to start your phases before the previous one starts dying out. So don't wait for your queen charge or your warden charge to go and get the value you're looking for. Remember to start your phases well in advance before they more or less start reaching that area, and that way you can create a lot of cross tanking between each of the troops and heroes you have on your base, and it just helps increase the value for each of the components to overall make a very strong attack just reach the finish line and get you the 3-star on the base. Now let's build up on the same fundamentals we learned and go into some more complex Lalo attacks, and we're going to be taking you guys through two Sui based Lalo attacks today. One is the regular Sui Lalo and the other is Zap into Sui Lalo, and we will build upon the fundamentals that we learned in the first part, so do watch that video if you haven't already. I'll be taking some inferences directly from there, and let's just move on to the video. So here's a template army that I have for Sui Lalo, and you can feel free to modify this in terms of the number of hounds, the funnel troops, the spells a little bit if you want. This is just my template army which I feel works very well with the equipment setup that I have, and we'll go through it together. So it's typical damage equipment for both the king as well as the royal champion. You can also see the earthquake spell I have to help my royal champion out. For the queen, it's the magic mirror. If you don't have it, don't worry, you can use the invisible and the healer puppet. For warden, I think this is an important talking point. For these very large Lalos, unlike queen charge Lalos, I feel the life gem can be better, just because we have so many spells to support the Lalo as well. So the Lalo has to do a lot of heavy lifting, unlike other like queen charge Lalo, fireball Lalo, or even like Zap Lalo, which I'll show in the next attack after this. So yeah, for specifically Sui Lalo, I feel life gem is a bit better. And probably the most important talking point over here, you'll notice I have 3 skeleton spells in my clan castle. That's just so that we can allow our heroes to get absolutely insane value. I feel one problem with using the king's earthquake boots and spiky ball is he doesn't have the same protectiveness that he has when he's running the gauntlet on him, and I'm just used to popping his ability and allowing him to rush through the base with my Lalos, but with the help of these skeleton spells you can still protect him well enough to get deep into the base and then use his ability. And oh man, using this ice golem furthermore just allows you to push your queen way too deep in the base, and if she doesn't go there, your royal champion just usually finishes the job. Now I might have said a lot of weird complicated things that don't immediately make sense and are difficult to visualize, so why don't I just go ahead and show you what your heroes are capable of doing. We'll just focus on the Sui aspect of it, and we'll get into the Lalo a little bit later. So we're going to be using Shock's base as kind of a showcase to help break down this particular attack and help us understand the fundamentals really required to make Sui Lalo work. And all you have to do is, if you see a Flameslinger weakness at the start, kind of try to pair that up with your hero dive as well, and there definitely is one on this particular base, so let's just try to abuse that as well. So off the bat, I can see that I can have a Flameslinger moving for this top left corner. I can see that my king can probably perform well in this little compartment filled with the enemy hero and just overall some threatening Lalo targets, including the sweeper. So usually you use your queen as a counter funnel for your king, and you have to remember to use your skeleton spells to protect your heroes in order to let them actually reach the core. So I'll just show you what I mean by that very quickly. Remember, this is a fast moving attack, so you have to be ready with your resources. And you can see in terms of scroll bar as well, it's pretty small on my screen. It's yeah, not too bad at all. So yeah, let's just get started. I'm only going to focus on the Sui aspect. Notice how quickly you have to get things moving in order to get the maximum value, and then you can kind of relax for a while. So the Flamefinger up top, the Super Barbarians act as kind of a tank while also being a funnel for my king. I'll drop one skeleton spell here, and the queen to counter funnel for the king. You'll notice he'll come back out to the elixir storage, that's elixir collector. That's totally fine. Now let's just funnel my queen as well in, ice column for her, and a skeleton spell somewhere over there. This is a good time to consider popping my king's ability, and just look at how much he's gotten, guys. That's so cool. And even after he kind of starts dying out, right, it's the ice golems, the skeleton spells, they just continue to provide tanking for you. So it's honestly much more than you can ask for. I still have one more skeleton spell in the bag. So now what I'll do is I do this thing where I'd like to drop a few balloons to help further tank a bit more, just a little longer. And you'll notice like even the clan castle still gets distracted by it, and it's just overall really cool. Now the last weakness that I can see on this base probably for the Lalo is this little top corner over here. It's just that that inferno is not very reachable for me, so that could be a bit of a pain. But yeah, this is the last trick I wanted to point out about what I do with my Sui. I just dedicate one of my rages towards this mini queen charge that I have going on over here. Whatever value she can get, it's fine. But again, just a bit of a disclaimer, by this point in time of the attack, I would have already started my Lalo. But we're not going to do that now. I just wanted to show you guys how capable heroes are. How many spells did I use? 1 poison, 1 earthquake, and 3 skeleton spells. And I think the rage and freeze I use now just to show you guys in case, just like it's a situational thing. Like on some bases you do it, on some bases you don't. But just look at this. What is even left? So now that we've combined this aspect of just getting the Sui started, I just wanted to show you guys like it is a very quick moving start. You have to be ready with all the resources, otherwise you're not gonna get too far. Like if your skeleton spells weren't down early, your king might have popped his earthquake boots a little sooner when he was not in the optimal position to get that value. So now I just cut to the part where I finish kind of getting my Sui down, and we'll combine it with the fundamentals of starting my Lalo in a well enough time. So yeah, let's just go ahead and do that. I'll show you guys the entire attack because it might be difficult to kind of visualize what I mean by having phases go through, and you'll see how we can protect my royal champion and probably even my queen to get a lot more value on this base. So let's just start with the same thing, and you'll notice some differences in how I start my phases out. Yeah, we'll just get that going. We'll do this here. 1 skeleton spell there, wall break here, wall break there, queen to funnel for the king. Perfect, everybody's going exactly where I want them to. And now we'll just give it a moment. I think there we go, it's the same value that we're kind of looking for. And yeah, it's more or less the same thing. So now I need to start my royal champion super early. This is one thing I did not do last time. That is a huge difference. I'm still having my queen alive, and as soon as that inferno, or rather I'll wait for this sweeper to kind of start going down, and I'll save my skeleton spell for my royal champion instead of my queen. So let's just drop that poison spell over there. Maybe I can honestly start my Lalo and just get the skeleton spell down there. And now let's see, look at how I'm already protecting my royal champion so much better. Yeah, we've got the headhunters for the enemy queen. I'll save my own queen now, and my own Lalo should slowly start making their way to protect my queen over here. And look at how we can start circling back to the town hall from over here. Look at that, now the monolith is being taken out by my Lalo. Like my queen is not the one who's taking the damage anymore. And look at this, I still have a rage, I still have 2 freezes. That town hall is going to be a complete joke for us, guys. Like this is the whole point, like we managed to save on so much. It's just completely crushed. Even my flame finger resources are still kind of waiting for me to be used. And yeah, I think the queen kind of provides some tanking. Like you can see, she has her own like healing going on, so she kind of just stays alive. But what's important is the fact that I started my Lalo early enough to take advantage of the fact that she waits over there. So it kind of acts as a free spell for you in a sense, because so many defenses are targeting her, and when she gets critically low on health, you can just actually invest a freeze towards defenses targeting her, and your Lalo just comes in by that point in time to anyways just help her out. So yeah, even this thing with the sweeper on the top over here, the royal champion, I did not wait for the sweeper to actually fall. See, the same thing of how you have to start your phases early. I don't wait for the sweeper to actually fall. Start your Lalo in order to actually protect your royal champion. Think of it that way, because then your royal champion can actually come to that area and grab more value for you and just help your Lalo out. Who knows, you might be able to even catch your royal champion within the warden ability and just allow her to carry through the entire attack. So just super easily done. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but this attack goes really quick. It's usually 2 minutes or even less. So Let's try the same fundamentals on another base. We're now going to shift to my own base that I use in Legend League, and this is very well baited for some fireballs in some areas, so you can take some base building tips if you find any in this. I'm not going to explicitly state them, that's a bit of an Easter egg for you guys to figure out, but for the time being, I guess most of the threats are very well spread on this base, but we just have to do the best that we can, right? So off the bat, maybe one thing I can say is there's no flame flinger weakness that I can straight up abuse. So let me do one thing. I just have to push my king into this compartment. I'm gonna drop the skeleton spells, and yeah, look at how it doesn't even matter where I drop it. I just need a little bit of initial tanking for him. So now he should be able to move into the base. I think I wasted one headhunter, but that's fine. Yeah, as soon as he moves to that gold storage, I'm going to use his ability. That is just splendid. Okay, great. Now, let's see. Can I also funnel my queen into the base? It's fine if my king starts dying out over there. I still have 2 skeleton spells to use for my own queen, so I'm not all that concerned. But what I definitely should do is save my queen's flank. So now I will allow my queen to get some really good value in the core. I'm not going to let her just kind of fizzle out and die. She should eventually move towards the single inferno, and look at this, my own royal champion is doing such a fantastic job here, guys. I can't ask for much more. Let's snipe that town hall down with that blimp. There we go. Come on, I gotta freeze that, and I'll get this rage to cover both the blimp as well as my Lalo that's coming in behind. And look at this, like I managed to partially protect my own royal champion. That's what's really important. And I still have so many balloons kind of left over for me. I can drop a skeleton spell to handle this enemy queen over here. And I've also saved my queen. I have saved my own queen somehow. So what more could you ask for, right? Oops, I gotta freeze that. I gotta freeze the monolith from taking my warden down. But that's fine. I think for the most part you can see like the whole importance of just starting that early. Like we managed to save my royal champion, we managed to save my queen, and those guys pull so hard for me. Like I barely spared maybe 7 or 8 balloons in my initial push, and just look at this, guys. Like I have so many resources I don't even need anymore. I'm commentating while doing this, I'm doing it on a phone, so it's by all means this is not perfect at all, but look at how easily and also how quickly you crush bases. 51 seconds left on this attack. Feel free to rewind this one back again and again. Just notice how the basic fundamental of starting phases early comes in. I'm not letting my heroes die out. Like my royal champion came in for my queen, my Lalo came in for my royal champion, my second Lalo came in from the right on the base to help my left side of the Lalo a little bit, and everybody just converges so well on the base, like you have nothing to worry about. Those skeleton spells help your heroes push in a little bit deeper, and sometimes that's all they need to get the most out of their abilities. And there you have it. That is Sui Lalo for you. On I think 2 very good different styles of bases. One was anti-fireball, one was more compact like this, but both bases get crushed all the same. Now let's move on to Zap Lalo and see the differences. Alright, let's go through the basics for Zap Lalo in terms of the army composition first. Just for the sake of convenience, I have only made some minor changes. I have reduced a few balloons and my super barbarians for 1 more hound, and that's about it. No more changes at all. Again, this is just a template army. I am making these on the fly myself. There are probably better armies out there, but I just want to show you guys the basics of the core mechanics that are involved in these Lalo types. So now some changes to the hero equipment. I'm using the heal tome and the diggy on the warden, and I'm also switching back to the common equipment on the royal champion. This goes better with Zap Lalo because you don't really have the spells left to support your heroes like in Sui Lalo. Like 8 spells on Zaps. I'll explain what we use them for and what you should probably go for in order to make your Lalos like successful. And yeah, hopefully you can see the difference in paradigms, but remember the fundamentals that we've learned so far all stay the same. Let's go and check it out. I'll be taking you guys through the same 2 bases on which I did Sui Lalo, and you just have to change your paradigm a little bit for how you approach bases. So on this, you have to try to use your zaps to remove like a threat for either your Lalo or your heroes, while also providing a funnel for one of them. This can also be used to actually set up a siege machine like a flame flinger on a base, but I think that's about all the tips we need to know for the zap itself. Now, for example, on this one, we're gonna probably use the same flame finger weakness, but we have to be a little bit more resource careful, I guess, in a way. So let me just do that. I will immediately drop my Barbarian King to help me out, because now that funnel is set, Barb King should keep going up on the base. Flame Finger gets that mortar out, and this is what I'm talking about. So I can see like this is a huge threat for both my Lalo and my heroes. So I could have honestly timed that a bit better, but I'm a noob at the game, guys. So yeah, don't completely take my word for it. But here we go. So remember, we have to really also start early. So I'm going to do that right over here. And this is a trick that's exclusive to Zap Lalo. You can use your Royal Champion and Warden together. And just look at this pairing up, right? Like now, they should be fine. Like my queen should eventually go back to the town hall over here. But this is what I like to do. Just pop the hog and haste. And like look at these guys go. I can just rage up in this entire compartment. And remember, we have to start the Lalo early. There's no more sweepers really stopping us anymore, right? So just blanket the entire bottom of the base at this point. And look at that, like our queen has also successfully moved back to the town hall like we hoped she would. So I can just keep blanketing whatever is really falling short on the bottom, and we should be all good to go. Like look at this, like what is even left? Yeah, not bad at all. Flame Finger also kind of still stays up. The poison was just wasted. I should have dropped it on the enemy Royal Champion, but look at that. We protect our Royal Champion with our Warden, and then we actually tanked with our Lalo for her. Like she's still alive this entire time. Man, another fast attack. I don't know what else to say. Like these bases can be a little tough to break through, but if you get the fundamentals of the timing down correctly, like if I had not started my Royal Champion when I did, my queen would have walked out of the base. And similarly, if I had not started my Lalo when I did, my Royal Champion would have died to the enemy king and the monolith, because that area is littered with skeleton traps. So I'm sorry that I had to rush through this attack, but I'm sure you guys know by now the importance of rushing the attack. It's just so that you can have every aspect of your push just get protected one way or the other, and you can see how well it works out. I don't even get the chance to commentate over it, guys. So you know what? I'll throw in 3 bases for Zap Lalo, but just remember that you can use your zaps in multiple ways. One is to set up a siege machine, which in turn sets up your heroes, which in turn sets up your Lalo. 2, it's a huge threat for either your heroes or your Lalo, and you can work your way around it. And 3, most importantly, set a funnel to move around, and just make sure you actually get that funnel with the help of some funding troops to ensure your heroes get the value that they do. If they don't exactly path the way you want them to, as always, start the next phase early. So like for again, just as an instance, my queen was about to walk out and keep moving to the right on this base. I had no more funnel troops for her, but just starting the next phase, that is the Royal Champion with that Warden combination, just saved this attack. I don't know if I would have been able to get back to the town hall, but there you have it. That's our first Zap Lalo. Just gotta maintain a slightly different mental flexibility and you'll be all good. It's the same as Sui Lalo. Let's move on to our next base, my own base in Legends. I find my base a little tricky to handle, but that's probably because I have some sort of skill issue. Jokes aside, I think one trick I can probably use on this particular base is just the fact that I can kind of ease up the tension on the town hall with the help of some zaps and set up a flame flinger over here. Like there's 4 builder huts, I can reduce 2 of them. So let's just get that out. Only 6 zaps needed. I also notice how the quake kind of panned over the other builder huts, and yeah, we can get started. So flame flinger out over there, and now I need my heroes to kind of work around this that I've set up. So what I'm thinking is I can start on the enemy queen side, and hopefully I'll just send both my king and my queen over here in some sort of hope that I'll be able to hopefully get a bit of damage on the town hall area in the near future, but I'm not completely hoping for it. So let's just try our best. Hopefully the ice golem freezes up soon. Release a bit of damage over there. Great, we got the builder huts out of the way with the help of the spiky ball. So my flame finger is honestly looking really good. I start my Royal Champion as well and freeze this up. I really just want to, yeah, there we go. This is what I wanted to set up. So now look at my Royal Champion and how she's just set to keep going. Remember not to waste any time. and just get started onto the next phase of the attack. So now hopefully we can get my Lalo to start tanking over here. 103. And if I just rage up over here, maybe. Alright, not bad at all. I can probably just get a haste moving here, a few headhunters here, and I save a few balloons for the top. But just see how important it is to get phases moving one after another. Like, this is just crazy. So I somehow managed to keep my royal champion alive in all of that chaos, and there we have it. I think this base will slowly crumble. My flame finger is still moving pretty strong, and yeah, this was a tough one to crack, honestly. So you have to be very good with those fundamentals of having your phases come in like one after another, and you can get by. Like, I'm not trying to claim like I'm sort of Lalo pro or something, but these are just some patterns that I myself have noticed in what makes these attacks kind of work for people. So yeah, just one tip at a time. If you try to consciously put it in practice, you should be able to start seeing triples even on more complicated attacks like this. But I prefer more complicated attacks like these. Like, even like Fireball Lalo, I would say it's a complicated attack just because of the fact that you have the control. It's not complete spam where you have to just pray that something works out your way, but when you have the control and you know that you have a good plan, usually it works out for you. So that's just a little something I guess I wanted to mention. And yeah, that's a very tough base out of the way, man. Last base for you guys, and we'll do it with Zap Lalo again. So let's just move on to that. For the last base, I decided to pick this particular one out just because there seems like there's absolutely no zap value on the base at all, and that's just like that's just so sad, right? So we're going to try to use the same tricks as we used before. Let's try to just set up a funnel for my heroes to kind of work around, while also maybe even setting up a flame flinger. So what I can see on this base personally, I can do this. 1 2 3 1 2 3. There we go, and I'll just get this mortar out of the way. Ooh, looks like we've pulled a few skeleton spells. That's fine. I'll just deal with them with this wizard conveniently. Okay, great. Now I have to just forget that that area even exists on the base. Maybe what I can do is, in the meantime, I'll just start my Barbarian King over here to kind of push into this area, and then I can have my queen come in from the right side of the base. So that's I think that's a pretty good plan. Maybe I can drop this ice golem over here so that I can get the freeze down, and that should hopefully set me up really well. Great. Now I have a bit of liberty that I can take to push my king inside the base so that he can get a bit more value using the help of his spiky ball and earthquake boots. And let's just see how it goes. I think now. There we go. That's all I really need. So I think he'll be fine out there. Just stay in Phoenix mode and like tank that entire area for a while, please. I'm hoping everybody kind of comes towards my queen, or will they go up top? No, it's on the Phoenix now, and now on the queen. There we go, perfect. You might have also noticed I'm losing a lot of time over here. I'm just waiting for the town hall to fall, but there's no reason for me to do so, honestly. So that's just a mistake I guess I'm making. Another mistake I've already made is my my royal champion is on ground, my warden is on ground mode, so already making a bunch of mistakes. But you can see, like, we're going to try to multitask as much as we can over here. We got the headhunters down, the enemy queen is done, enemy royal champion is done, and I can honestly just kind of spread my Lalo around the base now. Yeah, we should be looking pretty good. Like, I still have my royal champion's ability to pop, but just the fact that we managed to set up so much of this base like this already, it speaks more than enough. Yeah, this base is completely crushed. I still have my hog, Vial and haste puppet, and despite of all of my commentary, I keep remembering that I need to start the next phase before the previous one dies out, and there you have it. That's all it is. That's all it really is. Like, you don't even have to go for crazy zap value. Just do something that's convenient to rotate around. So in this case, can the monolith and the sweepers can act as like those Lalo killers in a way. Like they would have pushed me away from the scatter shots, and my entry would not have been as clean. And more so, what's also more important is just the fact that I got that entire area out on isolated basis. You can target your zaps, and you don't even need to use all of them. Like just target them so that you can set the funnel. So in this case, it was a funnel for the Lalo that we set, and the flame flinger just had a free job at that point. Like you guys saw, I used Golem to perfectly get king value to push him to get all of that flank out. Queen with her own magic mirror, and I don't even need to explain all of this. It should be pretty self-explanatory at this point. If you've seen all of the tutorials that I've come up with so far, along with some other content creators, there you have it. Just take these fundamentals and run with it, and I'm sure your Lalo attacks will go super smooth. If you have any other doubts, just feel free to ask me them in the comments, and that's about it. I'll see you guys on the next one, where we'll cover some blimp based Lalo attacks, and that should be the end of Lalo based attack, I guess. Maybe I'll have another miscellaneous episode after that, but at least for now that's the plan. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.